Hello. In this video we're going to look at making a Word document as part of task 2 on the exam paper that we've been looking at. So it says here we've got to create a new word processing document and set the page layout, the page orientation to portrait. So let's do that to start with. I'm going to go into Word. When Word opens, it gives you a new blank document. If you haven't used Word before, you notice that there are various tabs at the top of the page. These give you access to different controls in the program. The first thing that we need to do is to set the page orientation. So that's in the Layout tab. As you can see, there's a button there that says Orientation. You'll notice that when I hover my mouse over it, it comes up with some extra information. This is called a tooltip. It's really useful because it helps you just, if you're not quite sure which tool you need to do a particular thing. You'll see there's a little triangle at the bottom of this button. That means I can click for some more options. And there you can see I can have portrait or landscape layout. And obviously I want portrait, so that's fine. Next thing it asks me to do is to set some margins. The top left and right margins need to be 2.3 centimeters. So I'm going to click on the margins button. Once again, that's in the Layout tab. And I'm going to choose Custom Margins. There are some preset margins, but if you want to say exactly how wide you want the margins to be, you're going to need this control. As you can see, I can just type in a number into that box. It doesn't matter if I leave out the cm. We'll just assume that I want the units to be that. If I put in something that doesn't make sense, like 2.3 meters, it's going to give me an error message. So perhaps the easiest thing is not to bother with the units at all. Okay, now it says that I need to select the font to be an Arial font type and set the size to 12. So I'm just going to type in some text so that you can see the effect of this. So I highlight the text that I've already got. I'm going to choose the Home tab. That's where the font controls are. There's a box here. I can just type in, start typing the font name that I want, and it will automatically change it to that font type. Or I can choose from this list. I don't want Comic Sans MS actually, I want Arial, so I'm going to choose Arial. Then I also need to choose size 12, so I'm going to choose from this drop down box. Now notice in the middle, in the bottom right hand corner of this font area, there's a small angled line with an arrow pointing out of it. That means I can click there for some more information, more options. So there you can see I've got Arial, regular, 12 point. There are some more options there, but often you won't need those. Okay, the next thing that I need to do is enter text in single line spacing and make sure the text is fully justified. So the controls for alignment are in this paragraph area of the toolbar. At the moment it's left aligned. I could have it centered, have it right aligned, or justified. It doesn't make a lot of difference for this title, but you'll see the effect when there's more text there. This button controls line spacing. So if I select that and choose 1, that makes sure that I'm in single line spacing. Right, the next job is to type in the text that we saw there. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do that. So here's a version where I've already typed it in. Just so that you can see the effect of the justification a bit better now. If I select this and choose left spacing, you'll see that the margin on the right there becomes a bit ragged. Centering would look like that. Right hand justified would look like this, with a ragged margin on this side. The option I want is justified, which keeps it level on both sides. I can just check that I'm still in single line spacing. Yeah. Now, the next thing is to check the file for any errors and carry out a spell check. Well, while you're working on your document, Word will automatically do a spell check. So as you can see, this word has been underlined in red. Something's wrong there. If I check, it's because I've missed off this capital letter. So like I said before, it's very important that you get spelling and capitalisation correct, because if you make more than 4 accuracy errors, you will fail the paper. The blue underlining means it's a grammar check. So here, if I look in the original, I can see that there was no space between D and the comma. Again, I can actually just right click on that and Word will suggest to me a way of fixing that problem. So that's got rid of the space. Of course, the spell check will pick up when you've spelled a word wrong. Here I've written throat. If I right click there, it'll say, well, did you mean through or thought? So I can choose thought. The spell check doesn't catch everything though. So for instance, in the title here, I've written women. Sorry, it says women, but I'd typed woman. And because that's the correct word in English, the spell checker doesn't pick it up. So it's important to check your own work. Another mistake that I've made is that I've left a full stop on this line. So again, the grammar check doesn't pick that up. You just need to be aware and check your work for errors yourself. So now I've got the full stop in, that makes sense. Now I need to enter a header with the centre number and my name in it, and a footer with the automatic date and automatic file name. So I'm going to go across here. I'm going to find header and footer controls in the Insert tab. First of all, I'm going to put a header in. I'm just going to choose the blank one. Or I could choose one of the other options if I wished, but this will do fine. Type my name in. I'm going to use a tab to produce a little bit of space between the 2 bits that I need in there. And then I'm going to put in my centre number. I can close the header and footer and go back into the Insert tab and just create a footer. And this time I need to put in an automatic date. Now it's very important that if the task asks for automatic date, you use this date and time feature. Choose an automatic date format that you like the look of and make sure that you've got this update automatically box checked. If you just type in the date, you will lose marks. I'm going to put a tab in again for a bit of spacing, and now I'm going to add in a file name. Now where you find this is in this area called Quick Parts. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to click on the Field option. There's a list here of fields. Field just means different bits of information that you can put into your document. I'm going to have a look and find file name. I'm going to click on it. I've got some different options there about capitalisation, but I'm going to leave those out for now and click OK. As you can see, it's entered the word Vic there, because that's what I called this document. This is just my first draft. Now, it tells me that I need to save the file name using the file name era into the subfolder called Victorian. So I'm going to go into File, Save As, find my folder called Victorian, and I'm going to save it as era. Now as it happens, I've already done this once, so the document's already there, but never mind. It's going to ask me if I want to replace that file because Word doesn't want me to overwrite something that I need to keep, but in this case it's fine, so I'm just going to go ahead and save it. Now you'll notice when you look at the bottom of your document and you've done an automatic file name, the file name hasn't changed. This is because Word doesn't update that until you actually come to print it. So if I go into the print dialog box, if I zoom in a bit, you can see now era, the correct file name, is displayed at the bottom of the page. And when I go back to the main document again, it's been updated. So that's just worth remembering that the Word won't actually update the automatic file name until you look as if you're about to print. Okay, that's the end of task 2. So now all I need to do is close the file.